Good morning, everyone. Your Sports Minute begins with Capitals, and last night, a rare occurrence at the Verizon Center. Alex Ovechkin didn't have a point. The last time the Capitals played a meaningful game on this ice was Game 7 against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Quarterback Ricky Dobbs is one of their tools they're using this season. He has 752 yards rushing and shows no sign of slowing down. When spring comes around and you hear the sound of bats hitting softballs, you know it's softball time in Tennessee. The Lady Vols are having a successful season even with a new team. Senior Tiffany Huff says they are strong even though they are young.
We have a lot of upcoming, basically stars from our freshman class.
Teammate Nicole Caggiatani says the newer players play a major part in the success of the team.
Our strengths are that we have some great freshmen who've stepped up and really helped us out this year.
Lady Vols have made it to the NCAA tournament 6 years in a row. Of course, they want to make that 7, but first they have to do well at the SEC tournament. With this year's team, their chances of making the tournament are very high. Caggiatani and Huff both agree that the pieces of the team are coming together at the right time.
Getting more and more experience, and we're finding it later on in the season, we're growing, so that's exactly what you want.
The further into the season this team gets, the more they are tournament focused.
I think our biggest goal right now is to focus on SEC play and winning our division.
We want to peak at the end. We want all of this to be a learning process.
As the Vols go throughout the season, these seniors are not only looking at the short term, but the long term.
As seniors, we said that we want to bring passion back to this game for these girls so that, next year can be even better than this year.
This is Lori Thomas reporting for UT Today. Skylar McBee is an athlete who delivers when he gets an opportunity. On January 10th, he became a household name against #1 ranked team Kansas. Parents Doug and Sue McBee were at the game and probably more nervous than he was.
My wife and I were sitting there together, and we both jumped up giving each other high fives. It was just something you can't put into words.
Let's back up to before Skylar came to UT. Skylar went to Granger High School, where he made a name for himself in all sports, but especially basketball.
Just the time he put into basketball was so much different. He really loved that game.
All that effort paid off his senior year, but no one knew exactly where he wanted to go.
The coach at UTC asked Skylar, said, "Skylar, if you could go anywhere in the country to play basketball, where would you go?" And he said, "I'd go to the University of Tennessee."
This is the building in which Skylar always dreamed of playing in, even if it meant being a walk-on. But the decision to be a walk-on was not an easy one for Skylar.
I really didn't know at the start if I'd made the right decision, or I knew that I wanted to be here, but there was still that kind of that doubt in the back of my mind.
Let's go back to January 10th, UT versus Kansas.
Not many people get to play the #1 team in the country, much less beat the #1 team in the country. The shot clock's about to go, so then I looked up and there was like 3 seconds. So I was like, I knew I had to get this off. So I kind of ball faked to my right, and the dude went for it, and so I don't really know what happened. Just kind of leaned in and put it up there.
If his first year is any indicator of the next 3, his UT basketball career is limitless. This is Lori Thomas reporting for UT Today. For most people, rugby is a sport they know little about. The game is 2 40-minute halves with a running clock.
The basics of the game, you can never move the ball forward except by running it or kicking it. If the ball gets moved forward by passing it forward or by rolling it on the ground off your hands forward, that's a penalty and it's a turnover. It's a combination between football and soccer.
What you may not know about this organization is that they compete on a national level. The national championship only invites the top 16 teams each year. UT's rugby team has made it there the last 7 years. On Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at Tyson Park, you can find the rugby team doing conditioning or running plays. But outside of practice, this team makes its players responsible for so much more. Team member Benji Goff tells us how important it is in this sport to keep your body healthy.
We practice 3 times a week. You got to run outside of practice, weight train on your own, and then like I said, the most underrated thing is hydration.
Even though this is a club sport, recruiting is actually a big process in this organization. Club president Forrest Hallmark says recruiting early is how they get the word out.
Since it's a club sport, we essentially do all our own recruiting. We travel to different high schools in the high school state championships.
With good recruiting and a successful season, the rugby team has set itself up for success next year. This is Lori Thomas reporting for UT Today. There's plenty of time left to learn. There's 80 games left to play this season. At the Verizon Center, Lori Thomas, News 4 Sports. April Player Day is sponsored by Team Vols to show its appreciation for the local boys and girls clubs.